Guys, I lied. As long as I am working and it is a weekday, I will not be doing a full face of makeup to come to the movies. There's just no time. I'm already running late as it is, honestly. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you've been here. Today, we are going to be watching... You can kind of see it. Ugh. We're watching the new Exorcist movie. I was so excited when I saw that first poster. The unfortunate part is I have seen the 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. I have read some reviews. It scares me. I'm a little scared. I was big scared when I found out that David Gordon Green was directing this, because we all saw what he did to the last Halloween and I was not fucking happy about it. That last one, I don't know what anyone was thinking. I was so surprised to also find out that he directed Pineapple Express, because I actually love that movie. I credit the cast. So the actress who plays Chris McNeil in the original is supposed to be in this, so that's exciting to me. I hope they actually use a lot of her and not just like have her like for like 2 minutes of the whole movie. I'm really hoping that we see Reagan's actress, Linda Blair. I heard she might be in it, but like I tried to not spoil it for myself, so I didn't do too much reading on it, but I am expecting to see her. We have two girls. I understand that they had to like raise the stakes and amp it up. So I'm gonna get going, and when I come back, you guys will have my genuine reaction to the movie. So here we go. They better not fuck this up for me. I swear. How can you fuck this up? This is a classic. This is not to be fucked with. What the fuck was that? Okay. For my spoiler-free people. Yeah, don't expect much. If you are a fan of the OG and you expect it to be anything like the first, expect less. As long as you go in with low expectations. Are you going to be scared? Some of the acting might scare you. There are some good parts to it. The makeup and special effects team did amazing. Their voices, their dialogue, their deliveries. I applaud the girls. Like they did what they had to do. You know, is it a story that is even half as good as the original? Some parts are really confusing and hard to follow. How does it merge with the original? I love the fan service of bringing back Ellen Burstyn and Linda Blair. Literally running out of things to say for the spoiler-free portion, so I'm gonna move on to spoilers now. Victor and his wife. While his wife is pregnant, they go through this horrendous earthquake. She gets injured in that, and Victor's given the option to choose between saving his wife and his unborn baby. We are led to believe that he has chosen his baby because the movie fast forwards. I don't know how old these girls are. I'm going to assume they were like 12. Her name is Angela. It feels really slow in the beginning. It feels like we're dragging out a lot. So Angela and her friend Catherine go into the woods and they plan to speak to the dead. Angela wants to speak to her mother. Look, I don't know much because they didn't show us much. I guess that was the point. I know they brought like a pendulum. We didn't even see the process of them attempting to communicate. I don't remember that. I just remember them sitting in an enclosed space with the pendulum. I don't know how they summoned. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. The girls go missing for 3 days. I feel really bad saying this. Catherine's parents, I just feel like I didn't connect with them the way that I connected with Victor. There was like nothing that like made me feel like they were likable at all. They were actually pretty annoying and they gave me the ick most of the time. And I find it hard to believe that that was even the intention, because are we not supposed to like root for and feel bad for Catherine and her parents? But like I didn't feel that way for them. The detective sucked. I just feel like she didn't care. So then Victor's neighbor, look, I don't even remember her name. That's how much Jesus. She gives him a book that Chris McNeil wrote about her experience with Reagan's possession and the exorcism. At first he is hesitant because he doesn't believe in any of that nor is he religious. But there's a photograph in the book that resembles the scarring that Angela has on her body, because both her and Reagan have the "help me" carved out on their stomachs. So therefore Victor travels to visit Chris MacNeil. She speaks about her experience. Once the book was published, Reagan never forgave her, and she ran away and refuses to speak to her, and she has no idea where Reagan is. Victor takes Chris with him to the hospital to see Angela, and is like, she knows who I am. We've met before. So is this Pazuzu, or are we just supposed to believe that just because Reagan was possessed by a demon, that any demon knows Chris? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And then we start getting a little silly, because now Chris goes with Victor to see Catherine at her house. Bro, in what world? Like, I don't no words. Why does Chris go into that room by herself? She literally is carrying nothing with her. Chris has already specifically stated that she did not witness the exorcism. So how on earth would she fucking know what to do going into that room by herself, zero protection whatsoever, with no rule book, not knowing what to do? How the fuck would she know what she's doing? In what world are we supposed to believe that? But she fucked around and found out, because she went in there and Catherine was like, you know, are you looking for Reagan? I will say I loved the callback that Catherine did to the original when she says to Chris, do you know where your cunting daughter is? I guess she tricks Chris into thinking that she did something, but it's like, we as an audience already know she literally did nothing. All she did was scream holy words at her. Like, what did you expect, you know? She fucking stabs her in her eyes with a cross. And I'm just sitting there like, did this really just happen? Then Victor and his neighbor and Catherine's pastor and her family, there's this other neighbor that practices a different religion. I will do some research and I will edit it right here so that there's some context. Everyone decides that as a team they are going to do this exorcism. The priest that they go to, I also don't believe him. Don't have good feelings about his performance. Literally just shows up to say that he did not have permission from the church. Priest gives Victor's neighbor a Bible and he's like, all right, well, here you go. I'm out. So now shit is getting serious. You know, I enjoy the change from a bed to 2 chairs. I'm just having a hard time with the fact, like, were their lines as iconic as Reagan's? But is it the fact that I'm being biased? Is it the fact that I've seen the original 1973 Exorcist like a bunch of times in my life that I remember these lines? But I just saw this movie like 20 minutes ago. I can't remember any of the lines that they delivered while they were tied to those chairs. I remember 2 things. I remember they tell everyone that they're all going to die. And I remember that they tell them that only one girl can live and the other one has to die. No, wait, I also remember that the demon uses this against Victor and tells him that he never wanted her, because it's revealed that he actually wanted his wife to live, but he only chose Angela because she was already dying. Eventually, the priest walks in and he thinks he's doing something. He's out here saying prayers and he is such a fucking dumbass, and he touches the girls' heads. This is when I actually got excited. His neck snapped and he died. I love that because I was waiting for some tension. I was waiting for something fucking real to happen, and finally somebody dies. All I know is that Victor claims that Angela is going to live. Catherine's dad is like, I choose you, Catherine. We're supposed to believe that because that was said, that Angela dies because her heart rate slows all the way down. She lays unconscious and Catherine is okay and she's breathing and she's fine. But it was a cop-out. The trick here was that whoever they were going to choose, is not the one that was going to actually live. In reality, Catherine dies. My assumption is she's supposed to be in hell, but that did not look like hell. We can hear the echoes of her father saying, "I choose you, Catherine," and then the demon voice says, "I choose you, Catherine," and that demon comes out of the water and like traps her. Angela gets to live. Catherine's family is just left to mourn. Chris is in the hospital with the bandages over her eyes because she has no eyeballs. And someone walks into her room and it's Reagan. And it's basically supposed to be her forgiving her mother. I was like, I felt that. I'm really glad that we saw her, even if it was for less than a minute. I guess it's the best they could come up with. The movie just ends on Angela looking at the empty seat where Catherine is supposed to be. But she's not, because she's dead. I'm disappointed. It's David Gordon Green, like, he's already done this to Halloween and now he's going to do this to The Exorcist. This is going to be a trilogy, you guys. This just did not live up to the original. Definitely not a 3 or 4 out of 5. Not even a 7 out of 10. What's fun is that now when I go back to Horror Nights, because I did do this maze before watching the movie, I can go back into that maze and see what they took from the movie because I literally don't remember shit. I remember this demon coming out a bunch of times during the maze that I do not remember seeing in the movie. So those are my thoughts. That's how I feel. I'm very let down. This just was not it. But they tried and all we can do is say, try harder next time. I'm gonna go and contemplate. Thanks for watching. Bye.
What's that?
Holy water.
You keep it away. Huh?